everybody, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if this is your very first time joining me. My name is Jessica. My mother was a makeup lover, of course. I wanted to end the year out with a palette collection video for you guys. I figured I would film the intro while I am looking nice and pretty, at least in my opinion. So this is going to be like an extra upload. I usually only upload on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays because I am a full-time mom. I really like to have like a set schedule. This is not a declutter. Any palette, like if I end up not using a palette throughout the year, I end up getting rid of it. I'm pretty good about getting rid of stuff that I don't use. I really like to rotate through my collection. So if after a while I find that something is not working for me, I tend to just get rid of it. So you probably never see me do like declutter videos, but I had a few people request to see like my eyeshadow palette collection. Let me see really quickly. Hold that thought. So I'm rounding out the year with 40 eyeshadow palettes. I do have 4 more on the way, but they probably won't be here until the new year. So I'm really pleased with that number. I feel like I have a very wide variety of brands and styles and colors, and I just love eyeshadow palettes in general. So yeah, I'm just gonna be showing you guys the palette, the name, the brand, whatever. I'm not gonna be doing swatches or anything like that. I do have videos on most of my eyeshadow palettes. So if you're curious about a specific eyeshadow palette, you could definitely just go over to like my playlist. You could look up either the brand or you could look up the palette. Chances are I have a playlist for everything besides stuff that I haven't used yet. So yeah, so if you guys are kind of curious what kind of palettes that I love and enjoy, and just kind of everything that I have collected in my collection of eyeshadow palettes, then definitely keep on watching. Okay, so I'm not going to be going in any kind of like particular order. I'm just going to kind of show you guys what I got. So I suppose I will start with my biggest ones. So of course we have the P. Louise Watch the Queen Conquer eyeshadow palette, double-sided palette. Beautiful, stunning, bulky, yes, but still great. I also still have the P. Louise Worldy palette. I just love the colors, like the orange by the greens, like the blues, these funky tones. Yes. And then, of course, the All I See Is Signs eyeshadow palette. Whenever I like want to do yellows, this is my go-to, but I also really love this like peachy row. So stunning. I do have one more P. Louise palette coming, the Wedding Wish XL. But other than that, these are the only 3 palettes from P. Louise that I still have, and I love them. Next up, we have Beauty Bay, which I have the Beauty Bay Earthy palette. This one's pretty big to get into the shot, but I mean, I love the bottom rows of like the more warm tones, but then of course all the greens, and has a big mirror in it. Absolutely love this one. And then of course the Midnight palette. This is also 42 pans. We have the purples and the blues. Of course I've used this one more, but I mean, just look at her. And I really love the Beauty Bay formula. For the Beauty Bay, I also have the Beauty Bay Pastels palette. My mirror broke, but this is a really nice companion palette, so like if you don't have like a blending shade, definitely go for this one. Next up, in like the large category, I have the Be Perfect X Stacey Marie Carnival 3 Love Tahiti palette. I absolutely love this palette. This is actually one of my most used palettes. I don't know if you could tell, but she's well loved. I especially love the reds in this palette. I use a lot of the purples too. And then of course my newest Be Perfect edition, the Carnival Interstellar palette. Absolutely stunning. I mean, pastels, yes. The like gray side, yes. I will definitely be using this more in the upcoming year, but here we have the newest addition to my collection. I also have the Carnival All Stars palette. I think this is a really like good little curation of all of the Carnival palettes, so I really do like this palette. Again, this isn't a declutter. This is just me showing you guys what I have. Alright, next up we have Morphe X Jaclyn Hill. We can tell how old this one is because I customized it. It's real dirty. She's real beat up, okay? But, I mean, I feel like this is just a classic to have. Any type of neutrals that you want, you could go to this one. I know it's really, really dirty. But my kids like to get into this one. And so I stopped trying to clean it up because my son loves this little corner here, this little quad. But this is my oldest palette in my collection, is this one right here, and I just can't bring myself to get rid of it, and it's just like a cult classic, you know? And then, of course, the Jaclyn Hill Volume 2. I think I used this one a little bit more than I used the first one, just because of, like, the colors are, like, more of, like, my go-tos. Specifically, like, the burgundies, the maroons, and the reds. I absolutely love this palette, too. And the Morphe, like, formula, specifically for the Jaclyn Hill palette, is really, really good, so yes, I still have these babies. Another bigger palette I have is the Juvia's Place Culture palette. I think this palette is super stunning. My biggest thing, the reason why I don't use, like, I haven't really used this too much, is just, I feel like it's lacking very light, super light, like, blending shades. There is a few shades, and, like, the shimmers are absolutely stunning. There's a few duochromes in this palette, but I try to only use, like, one palette whenever I'm doing my tutorials just to make it easier for you guys, but I definitely would feel like you would need a companion palette for this, like the Beauty Bay Pastels. But other than that, I love the colors in this, and the formula is really nice as well, too, and, like, the shimmers are freaking stunning. So, you have that baby. Now, Made by Mitchell. I do want to get the Mango palette by Made by Mitchell, but as you guys are going to see right now, I have a ton of palettes. I don't need it. But this is the Head in the Clouds eyeshadow palette. Oh, look, my kid got into this. My favorites out of this palette is definitely the blues, but I also really love, like, the peachy tones. I think the pops of color in here are just so unique and so pretty. And, I mean, I like it. I think the only shade that I have a problem with is this blue one here. It's, like, hard panned. But everything else is still really nice, so we have that one, and then, of course, the Feet on the Ground. These ashy tones are so unique, and just, like, the pops of color. I think this palette is so beautiful, and the shimmers in the Made by Mitchell palettes are so, so nice as well. Not duochromes, but still so nice. It's, like, a greeny, grungy palette. I think that the outside packaging is a really good representation of the inside of the palette as well. Alright, I'm going to throw a few random ones at you guys. Let's see. So I have this one my mom gave me, which is the BH Cosmetic 90 Remix Dance. I have not used this, but my god, look how pretty this is. I love this, like, neon pastels, a row of shimmers, and then this row of neutrals. Oh my gosh, so pretty. I have, like I said, I haven't tried this one yet, but let me know if you guys want to see a tutorial on this one, because, I mean, just look at her. And I don't own many, like, BH palettes. I've never tried their formula before, so I'm really interested about that. I do also have this one looking like a snack, so then when you open it, that it's standing up. But I mean, the pinks, the peaches, the shimmers, yes. I also haven't used this one as well. Let me know if you guys want to see a video on this too. Ace Beauty. I did get rid of one of the palettes that I have from Ace Beauty, but I still have this one. I don't think I could ever get rid of this. It's just so pretty. The formula is really nice too. I think they might have reformulated it. I'm not sure, but I love this palette, and I think it is the beautiful, beautiful fall palette. Yeah, so I think this is my only other Ace Beauty palette, which is the Flare palette. I absolutely love the color. Again, the colors, like the blues, the greens, the peaches, the reds. Like, obviously, we're seeing a theme, are we not? I think I've only used this palette once or twice. This shadow did break, but, I mean, beautiful palette. I mean, just so good. Love that. Okay. I also have this Lunar Beauty nude. Oh, that's the back. Lunar Beauty Nude Prism palette. This is my first Lunar Beauty eyeshadow palette, and it really set the bar high for me. This is a beautiful, beautiful neutral palette, and you get, like, you have some cool tones, some warm tones, the pinks, the peaches, and then you have all the different rows of shimmers that you could possibly need. And the formula for this palette is really nice as well. It makes me want to buy more Lunar Beauty eyeshadow palettes, so yeah. And the packaging is my soul on a palette, so love that. I also have the Jaclyn Cosmetic Dear Mom eyeshadow palette. I wanted to buy specifically the one with the rose on it, but I do also really love the neutrals in this palette. I love how it goes from light to dark. You have like a more yellowy tone, like light shade, more pinky tone, and then it just kind of gives you a little bit of everything in this palette, and I really love that. I think the shimmers are a little bit lackluster, minus this silver, but I could see why her mom would make this, because my mom would absolutely love this palette. Alright, next up we have the Michaela X Glam Light Part 1 eyeshadow palette. I'm not the biggest fan of like a full green, like the palette that she curated, the second palette that she made with Glam Light, I didn't pick that one up. But I love this one because it has a little bit of everything, and I really think that the tones in this are very unique. And the shimmers are like so amazing. I've never tried Glam Light's formula. Again, this makes me want to purchase more from Glam Light. I just haven't got around to it, but she did not go anywhere this year either. This is one of my newest additions to the palette, which is the Cosmic Birches Serenity eyeshadow palette. Again, we're seeing a theme with what I like, but the formula on this really, excuse me, burped. The formula on this really, really blew me away, and I will definitely be playing with this more. So let me know what kind of color stories that you guys would want to see with this, but I love it. I'm so happy with this purchase. So I think this is going to be the last one that's like not, like, I don't have a ton from the brand. This is the Balm Cosmetic Fungi Volume 1. I don't know why I love this, but I do. I think it's the pop of green, this like funky shimmer, and then just like the super neutrals that you could really do anything with. This is so cute, and I actually really love this palette, more of like an everyday palette. So I kept this one. Next up, we have Blend Bunny Cosmetics. I'll start with their newest one, which is the All Done Up eyeshadow palette. I love this kind of like velvet feel, and then like the maroon packaging. The shades in here are so unique, but you could really wear these like every day. I really love the smaller kind of compact palette because I feel like it's a little bit easier for people who aren't like makeup artists to kind of figure out what to do with it. But I really love these tones. I think they're very unique in my collection, and I really love the setup of Blend Bunny palettes. So yeah, can't wait to see what else Blend Bunny has in store for us. So there's that one. Of course, the iconic Blends palette. I'm starting to actually like make dents in the pans because I've been using it more and more. I think this purple's one of my most used shades. But I mean, just beautifully curated. I love the setup. I love the shades. Love the tones. Iconic. A classic. And then, of course, we have the Surge palette. We have the pastels and the neons. The setup is a little bit different to the first, but still very unique. You have your dark, your medium, your light. You have pastels, and then you have your row of shimmers. Beautiful. I honestly don't ever see myself getting rid of any of my Blend Bunny palettes. Next up, we have the Dollhouse palette. This is such a beautiful, beautiful, like, neutral but fun palette. Because you have the greens, the kind of plummy purples. More like, I don't know. I don't know. This palette does it for me. And I also love that there's 2 rows of shimmers. I feel like I kind of neglect the shimmers in my eyeshadow palettes. But I do really like this formula. And the colors are very, very unique. And just, they're always set up so beautifully. Sorry, my kid's in here. So, don't be getting handsy with my stuff. Alright, last but certainly not least from Blend Bunny Cosmetics, we have the Primal palette. I feel like these are all very true tones of the rainbow. And I really love how she has the corresponding shimmers, like, of each color. This is probably one of my favorite ones from Blend Bunny just because of, like, specifically the tones. I also love the setup. I think it's really smart to put a big white and a big black. And it still kind of has, like, a more compact layout, but this one is probably one of my favorites. If I had to rank all of my Blend Bunny palettes, it'd probably go, let's see, yeah, Primal, Surge. Ooh, that's hard. These two are definitely third place together, and then fourth, just because there has to be a fourth, okay? But yeah, definitely would highly recommend Blend Bunny Cosmetics. If you haven't tried them yet, you are missing out, let me tell ya. So my biggest collection of palettes is definitely going to be Unearthly Cosmetics. I do get PR from them, which I am so absolutely grateful for, because I absolutely love Unearthly Cosmetics and their formula and everything like that. So they are discontinuing a bunch of their stuff. So I will definitely keep you guys updated with all of that. But let's get started. This is going to be the last little collection. So this is one of their newest palettes, which is the Daily Grind. I absolutely love the colors. As you can see, this is very similar to a lot of other palettes that I have in my collection as far as like the color stories go, the greens, the reds, the oranges. Absolutely love this one. This is actually my only, this is the Don't Be Jelly. This is actually my only all shifty multichrome duochrome palette, and I don't think I will ever get rid of this because this palette is so stunning. So stunning. I know this is one of the ones that they're going to be discontinuing, which is so sad because it's so pretty, but I'm so glad I have this and I love it. You cannot tell me that Unearthly Cosmetics doesn't have the nicest packaging. So this is their Sleepover eyeshadow palette. I know you guys seen me use this one recently. The beautiful pink palette. And their palettes are always a lot larger than I think they're going to be. The pans are really huge and the formula is amazing. The shimmers are always just so shiny and nice quality. Absolutely love this one. Okay, this is the Unearthly Cosmetic Bunnies palette. I think this is a beautiful, beautiful, like, Easter palette. I was going to say holiday palette. Girl, come on. The shimmers, again. Shimmers are so good. I think this is a very great, like, companion palette where you could use these, like, more pastel shades. They're very unique tones of pastel. And, I don't know. This one's nice. I really like this one as well. I definitely want to use this more. But I feel like there's an occasion for everything, you know? So, definitely hold on to that one. I think this is one of my favorite Unearthly palettes, which I know they're also discontinuing this one. She said As We Know It, so I think they're going to be bringing it back in some other shape or form, which I'll probably pick that up because, my God, the blush pink, the reds, the green, the shimmers. I could never, ever say enough good things about Unearthly Cosmetic shimmers. And I think this is a beautiful, more neutral palette. And it's very small. It does have a mirror and it's very, like, compact. I think this is a beautiful, like, on-the-go palette. If you're going to get any Unearthly palettes, this is definitely one that I would recommend. So they did recently bring this palette back. This is the In the Dark palette. So I know that I think they reformulated. It was either the purple or the blue. Like, they added more of that tone in. I'm not 100% sure which one. But I think this is a beautiful grungy purple palette. And it even has, like, the blues. I do want to do more looks with this, but like I said, there's an occasion for everything. So I definitely do still have this one in my collection. It's beautiful and not going anywhere. And one that I think is kind of like the bigger, older sister is the Dead of Night palette. This is also a new one. I mean, come on. The purples, the greens, the blues, the shimmers, the grays. This is so stunning. I love this palette. And I definitely, like I said, I'll use all of these palettes again. Let me know which ones you guys would be most interested in. I don't think I've gotten rid of any of my Unearthly palettes either since I've been getting them in PR because I love them, like, all. This is the Leather and Lace eyeshadow palette. I love this, like, row of wines, the browns, the greens. This, and you know, it goes from, like, the dark to the light. You have your row of shimmers. I think this was beautifully curated and I absolutely love this formula. And the packaging is real, it feels really, like, high end, I'd say. I really like this one too. This is the Unearthly Cosmetic Hauntingly Glamorous palette, which was their collaboration with Sydney Nicole. I mean, just look at her. Enough said. This is the only collab palette that I've tried from Unearthly Cosmetics, but I love Sydney Nicole. So I'm so glad to have this in my collection. I think that the shades are super unique. I don't think I've really tried any of the shimmers, but Unearthly shimmers, I already know they're going to perform. And I love the reds specifically in this palette, and then this, like, shade. This palette's really, really nice. And you can use it for more than just Halloween, because they're so, like, they're not, like, random Halloween colors, you know what I mean? Like, it's a good one. I like this one. She's a goodie. Okay, this is the Vitality palette, which I think is another, like, top favorite from Unearthly Cosmetics, just because it is, I think this is one of the biggest ones. The pans are kind of small, but I got some of the blue and the white. Oh no. I love how colorful this is. You could really do anything with it. You got purple, blue, green, orange, pink. Like, you have a couple brown, like, nude shades, a white. Love that. There is, I think a couple of these might be, like, multi-chrome, duochrome shimmers, but this one's nice. I really like this one. I like how big it is. This one does also have a mirror, and I really love the packaging as well. It's, like, so pretty. And then this is the last palette. This is the Unearthly Cosmetic Warms My Blood eyeshadow palette. I'm so happy that I got this one because she's gonna bring the palette back, but not the cover art. But I mean, just how fine is Aaliyah? I mean, come on now. This is probably like another one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes for the color story. I love how there's 2 rows of shimmers, 2 rows of matte. You have your neutrals, the reds, the black, the white, the gray. As you guys can probably tell, those are a lot of my favorite tones. And the shimmers are some of the best quality shimmers that I've ever tried from Unearthly Cosmetics. These shimmers really blow it out of the water. Like, yes. I will definitely be doing more looks with this. It's just tough because you can't get it right now, you know? So I do have 2... So besides the P. Louise palette, I do have 2 other palettes on the way. 3. I have a Natasha Denona palette on the way, and then I have 2 Hank and Henry palettes on the way. So besides those 3 eyeshadow palettes, this is my, or that's 4. This is my full collection as of 2022. I'm very, I'm happy with the size and the collection, you know? Let me know. So let me know what other, specifically what palettes that you guys would like to see more of on my channel. And I will definitely take that into consideration come 2023. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.